Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another review. This time around, I'm reviewing Battlefield Hardline, brought to you by EA, Visceral, and DICE. Now, this is something a little bit different when it comes down to the Battlefield franchise, and this is the reason why I've taken quite some time to do the review for this game, because it is really different, and I was trying to take as much time as I could with the title before I did a review. So I know the game has been out for a good little chunk of time, but you know, I feel that this is going to be the best and honest review that I could give you guys. Now, whenever it cuts down to the story aspect of Battlefield Hardline, it's a cops and robbers story. There's corruption, there's you know, dynamic levels, there's all kinds of stuff going on. But the story is very predictable. There's a lot of times while the game was going on and while I was enjoying the very beginning of the story, I was literally guessing things left and right in the game. Now, it's inspired by this kind of like TV crime drama aspect, and it has like episodes and has a prologue, and whenever you quit the game it says you know, next time on Battlefield Hardline, you know, and it's cool. It's a cool concept. But to say that I really enjoyed that aspect of the game would be a farce. I really did not enjoy that aspect of the game. I didn't like the episodic layout of the game, and I also did not like that every time I quit or every time I started the story back up on a continuation, I got prompted to a screen that was previously on Battlefield Hardline, or coming soon on Battlefield Hardline. And I know you could just skip right by it, but at the same time, it was just a little aggravating because I wasn't playing the game. I wasn't playing the game to make it seem like I'm watching TV. I was playing the game for the full-on first-person experience, and I was really excited about the cops versus robbers aspect of the game. But it slowly but surely, over time of playing the story, like I said, it became very predictable. A lot of the characters in the game were predictable as well, and a lot of the characters in the game were kind of boring too. Like Nick Mendoza is the main character that you play, and just the kind of banter back and forth between him and his you know, his former partner and new partner and the guys that he's going against, it just kind of seemed like it was just something that was kind of ran through, something that you know, had a lot of things going for it, but it just didn't meet the standard when it came down to, you know, actual storyline gameplay. And I feel this was something that was the problem with Battlefield 4 as well. The story was just kind of boring, and we almost get the same exact aspect with this. Now, but to say that the first-person experience of the game is bad would be a farce as well. I feel the first-person experience, as of shooting, handling, you know, the draw to where it basically kind of pulls you into the gameplay while you're playing. If you're in a firefight, if you're in a, you know, mode online, whatever, it really pulls you in. You know, whenever I'm playing online against friends or whatever else, if I'm just playing in a random match, I am pulled in, and I really focus heavily on the game. But when it comes down to the story, it's hard to say that it's the same exact experience, because it's not. You know, I have a lot of fun with the game, but to know that there's an easy aspect of the game when you're playing through the levels, if you come up onto 6 or 7 guys and they're all spread out throughout the level, you can walk up to them, push L1, make them freeze, point your gun at them, and then they drop to the ground, and you just like, okay, well, I'm gonna handcuff you. And it's, to me, that's a cheat. You know, it is. I mean, and nothing against Visceral and EA. I think they really took a big leap of faith with this game. But to be able to just walk up to literally every character when these guys are supposed to be extremely bad criminals and flash your badge and say freeze, and just be able to, well, I'm going to put the handcuffs on you, lay you down. Nobody else heard me yell at you. You know, you're a criminal. You would never yell. You would never try to take your own life for whatever, for your criminal companions, you know, just to stop me, even if you were to get shot. That's the type of stuff that I see in TV crime dramas or even movie crime dramas. You know, if somebody comes walking up and he's like a single cop by himself and points a gun at him, freeze, get down on the ground, it usually leads into a big-ass action scene to where you're has a firefight and he's by himself, and then his partner comes and saves him. In this aspect, you didn't get that. You know, it was just kind of like, hey, I could run through this entire game, which there was many levels I did, flash my badge, and I didn't shoot one bullet the entire time. And I really feel like it takes away from the aspect, and it kind of just makes it somewhat of a boring story. Now, whenever we're getting back into the online play, though, the online play is something completely different. The online play, to me, I really felt like it was something special. You have, a good little chunk of different multiplayer modes. You have 7 multiplayer modes. You have Hotwire, Heist, Rescue, Blood Money, Crosshair, Conquest, and Team Deathmatch. Now, Team Deathmatch and Conquest, those are, previous online modes from Battlefield, and they do pretty well. The Team Deathmatch, the only thing I'll complain about that is there's a lot of times when you play Team Deathmatch, it does put you in a lot of the same exact levels, and there's one particular level that I can't think of its name right now, but it's very close quarters, it's in the middle of Los Angeles. There's tons of houses around, and it's so hard to actually enjoy it because you have so much going on in such a small space. It kind of ruins that level. So anytime I join up on a team deathmatch and that's the level it chooses, I automatically drop out because it's so hard to do anything. And there's probably a lot of people out there that will disagree with me on that, but that's just my personal preference. Now, whenever it comes down to Conquest Large, I feel they did a really good job with the game, with the actual levels, with the layout. Conquest Small, I don't play Conquest Small much, but Conquest Large is something that I really, really love. The dynamic levels, the levels that are raining, there's a level to where there's a big sandstorm. There's all different types of stuff that just really kind of pulls you into the multiplayer experience. And, it almost makes me feel like they should have maybe came out with a game that had like a co-op story that was kind of, well, you're a cop, your friend's a cop, you go against the criminal bosses, whatever else, and not really push that much in the story, and kind of more or less focused on the multiplayer, because the multiplayer is fantastic. Now, there are a few problems I feel with the multiplayer. I actually think some of the multiplayer modes are pretty damn similar. You have Heist and you have Blood Money as well. Now, Blood Money, you and the cops are basically fighting over the money. There's bags all over the place, and you have your stashes of money in your base, and then you have a stash of money at the other base, and then there's one big stash of money in the middle that you can pull from, or you can go to your opponent's home base and pull money from them and bring it back, and whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins. Heist, I feel it's almost somewhat of the same thing. You're kind of doing a defense mode. Like, if you're the police, you're the ones that are trying to stop them from taking the money. But if you're the criminals, you're the one robbing the bank and stealing the money as well. But I just kind of feel like that has already been played out with Blood Money. I feel Blood Money is actually more of a fun experience to me than Heist is. Now, Heist, whenever I played it in the alpha and the beta, I loved it. I was like, dude, this is amazing. But then I played Blood Money, and it was almost kind of like Capture the Flag. You were going back and forth. There was a lot of times that if you saw someone running in Blood Money and they have the red bag on their back and you shoot them and kill them, you could pick up that cash and then run back to yours. It's really, really awesome. I really like that mode. Best mode, I think, in the game is Hotwire. Hotwire, it's kind of like Capture the Area, but you capture cars, and you actually have to drive around the map while you have that car captured, and the people that have the car captured for the longest amount of time win. Now, there's like 4 or 5 cars. You capture it, you get additional points for destroying the enemy's cars. I think they did a really good job with this online mode. But like I said, some of the other ones I really don't like. Rescue, Crosshair, they're just kind of boring to me, and this is just my particular opinion as of the website Second Opinion. So, Rescue is somewhat cool to play. I mean, it is what it is. It's a rescue mission. Crosshair, there's like a hit out on one guy. I think my favorite modes in the game are Hotwire, Heist, Conquest, and Team Deathmatch. And I have to say, Hotwire kind of steals the show for me. I know it's just, it's, capture an area, you basically just run around with a car, but it's really, really, really fun. So That's pretty much it on the multiplayer aspect. The story aspect, I already talked about that as well. The graphics are fantastic. There's a lot of times in the story and also in the multiplayer, like I said, there's dynamic weather, which they've always done well with. Now, the one thing I do have a problem with this when it comes down to the graphics and the aesthetics of the game, there's a lot of times you don't really see that dynamic aspect when it comes down to blowing up buildings, when it comes down to all this other style of destruction. You don't really see the destruction like you did. And I just don't really understand that. I don't understand what happened with it, because I remember Battlefield Bad Company 2. One of the best things about that game, and even Battlefield 3, was the destruction aspect. There was times when I played Battlefield Bad Company 2 and I would put C4 all around the building, and when someone else was in that building, hit that C4 and it would completely destroy the building with everybody in there. Battlefield 3, it had that heavily. Battlefield 4, it somewhat had that, but you didn't really have it as much because there was really big buildings all over the place. And then this one, Hardline, there's a lot of times that you could actually, you would think that you would be able to do that. And I saw that all over the place. I saw a lot of people complaining about it. The game itself, there's a lot of times you come up to just like a house on Conquest mode or Hotwire, whatever the level is, and you're shooting the side of it open with like with a bomb, or you have C4 planted on the side of it, or whatever else. You have an attachment on your weapon that shoots out the grenades, and nothing happens. Like, it just, boom, there's a black ring on the wall, and you're like, okay, all right, well, I guess that dynamic aspect isn't in there like it was before. Now, you do see it here and there in a few little buildings, and you see it in some of the levels whenever you're playing in the heist mode, or you're in downtown LA and there's a big crane that crashes. That's awesome, but the smaller aspect is what really used to just make my jaw drop. Like, it was so cool to have like 5 or 6 enemies in one building, all sniping somebody, and you actually sneak around and place C4 all around the structure of the building and blow the building up, and you kill every one of them. That was something that was something I always tried to do in Battlefield, and in this one, it's just not there. It's not there at all. And like I said, the episodes, they're okay. The multiplayer, it's very fun. There's a lot of aspects I feel that weren't in the game. But overall, like, the voice acting, the music was very good. I do like the fact that while you're playing online in the cars, they'll have, radio stations you can switch in and out of. But like I said, my overall thought of the game itself, it's an okay experience. It's a good game. To say it's a bad game, I would totally disagree with you. But to say it's like up for Game of the Year, I would have to say no. There's a lot of things that I see with the game that I really expected there to be a little bit more kind of put into it. But overall, it's a nice experience. So Battlefield Hardline, like I said, they kind of took a leap of faith with this game. And I myself, I like the game. I play it, but I'm not in love with the game. So I'm going to give this a rent. Now, with that being said, I will tell you that eventually, if you do like the multiplayer, in my opinion, I feel that you need to pick this title up. I think the Season Pass is really going to add a lot of diverse levels, a lot more, kind of replayability with the multiplayer. And secondly, Walmart, Best Buy, Toys R Us, they just dropped the game down to $39.99. So if you feel, after you rent the title, if you feel that you kind of want to hold on to it and play the game, I definitely think that you should buy it. But rent it first and try it out to see if you like it. This is it for my review of Battlefield Hardline. Make sure to check us out at secondopinionpod.com for the latest and greatest gaming news, previews, and much more. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.